Yeah, it was revealed yesterday that Arsenal star boy Bukayo Saka is set to be out until at least March. Wow, with a hamstring injury. So, how damaging is that going to be for Arsenal's title hopes? Here's what the Gunners will be missing. In Saka's 250 Arsenal matches, they have won 143, drawn 50 and lost 57. While in the 73 matches Saka has missed since his debut, the Gunners have won 41, drawn 10 and lost 22. So, it is a huge loss. Here's their boss, Mikel Arteta.
It's not looking good. He's going to be out for many weeks. I cannot be too specific because I don't know, but it will be many weeks. It's a huge one. Obviously, it's a big player for us. You just have to see the impact that he's got on the team. But it's going to go a really good exercise for all of us to think about ways to overcome another challenge because we already have a lot in the season. We have to look internally what we have and be creative, do a very good exercise again. How can we mold the squad? How can we adapt to the circumstances and be different? We cannot pretend to be the same. We're going to have to be different and trying to find the best way to do it and be very competitive and win a lot of games.
Well, yeah, they're going to have to fix the problem of the Saka omission. How huge is this for Arsenal, would you say?
Massive, yeah, because your best players are your best players for a reason, and without them, it costs you points. I mean, if I look back to Liverpool where Alisson got injured and Van Dijk got injured, I reckon Van Dijk's worth 15 points to the team. I think Alisson's worth 15 points. Salah would be worth 15 points. And I put Saka in the bracket for Arsenal that you wouldn't know what points have been dropped by just him not being there. You don't finish teams off. You know, you're still at 1-0 where he could be at 2-0 because he's on the pitch and he's doing what he does. And it will cost them points. I wouldn't say 15. I mean, he's still able to go Trossard, Martinelli, Havertz, Jesus, Partey, Rice, Jorginho. He's still got some players he can put in there. For example, Martinelli and Trossard can play wide because Sterling's injured as well, which is another blow for him. Or they signed someone in the window, but it is going to cost them points, I think.
Well, what are they? 6 off top spot as things stand, albeit with Liverpool having a game in hand. Does it, for you, rule them out of the title race, or is that still too early to say?
No, because I just named some of them players like Partey and Rice, Odegaard behind Havertz, Martinelli, Trossard. That's still a great team. You know, and I know they're missing Sterling and Saka, but they have got a good squad now, and that's what, over the years, that's what he's been building. So for this type of thing to happen, but that's 3 times he's pulled his hamstring now, but it looks to me as if he's completely torn it this time. And that is a real bad injury. You know, hamstrings are absolute nightmare injuries because you never know when they're right until they go again. You go out on the training pitch, you start running, you think it's all right. The next day, you come in and you start running again. The sooner it comes under stress, it just goes. There's no warning signs. And then you're out for another. You've either made it worse or you're out for a minimum 3 weeks, but he's really got a bad one.
Yeah, exactly. And look, there's a lot of talk about, and I'm sure we'll hear from Adrian Durham a little bit later on, about burnout being one of the issues down the line for Saka. He's played a lot of games for such a young player as well. When Martin Ødegaard was missing earlier on this season, everyone was saying about he's the big cog that once he's back in the team, that'll get Arsenal going. And once he got back into the team, we saw a pick-up in form, and that link-up play with Saka is always so wonderful to see. So is it now we're going to see that Saka is actually maybe more important to Arsenal than Ødegaard, or is that not the case at all?
Well, I know what you're saying because Ben White was obviously involved in that as well. So Saka would come along the touchline towards Ben White, dart inside. Saka would let it run past his body, infield. He'd give it to Odegaard, and Odegaard was that clever and that good that the next pass in behind, he would get it right for Saka. So Saka used to use Odegaard to get the ball on the byline quite a lot. So they're like a magic triangle, and Ben White just knew what he was going to do. They're on the same wavelength. Top players are on FM, and they're playing against players who are on medium wave. The top players, they're a step ahead of everybody.
Oh, you're so corporate, bringing the radio analogy in.
Well, do you know what, as well? I was sitting watching Brighton play, and I was talking to somebody. Actually, it was my son, who's playing for Nantwich. And he's been playing him where Salah plays for Liverpool on the right of a front three. But Matoma was playing on the left of a front three. So I said to him, watch Matoma, how many times he nearly gets in behind the defence. Just watch what he does. And all he was doing was squaring the full back up, turning back, passing it into Welbeck and running, giving and going, give and go. And it looked simple what he was doing, but you quickly work out the defender is 2 yards behind him in his mind. His football brain and his actual visualising that if I chip this into Welbeck, Welbeck chested one and back-heeled it over the back four to the byline, and he got in, Matoma. Well, Matoma's mind must have to see that. He must have to visualise it to actually get on the end of that pass before he's run. But he was just 2 steps ahead of the fullback in his head, and that's why I think Matoma is a top-class winger, top-notch.
Did you read about he wrote a dissertation on dribbling once?
Didn't he do
a degree? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did a dissertation on dribbling.
Why don't you just say degree? Trying to be like Simon Jordan. Dissertation.
That's what you
Speak
do.
the language
Right.
the fans understand.
A dissertation is a form of an essay, but a long version. And that's what you do at university, a dissertation. That's what you do.
I've got a degree. Management.
Okay. I know, I'm sure
Warwick
you have.
University. I just call it a degree, though.
Is that an honorary degree, or you actually went?
I went.
Okay, I'm just checking.
What's an honorary degree?
You know,
What's the difference?
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.